Dun 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 dun. Hello and welcome to Necromundown with the last of our normal...
Last of the traditional tier lists.
Last of the traditional tier lists. We might do more house lists, tactics, and people have asked for tactics. We'll probably come back to that. But today we're doing close combat weapons.
And there's a lot of them.
Yeah, there's 41 of these.
Yep.
So, just one more time, in case this is the first tier list you've tuned into. If it is, check out the other ones, that are all on a playlist on the channel here. We're covering all of the weapons that are available to everyone in the trading post, not including house weapons, not including weird things. On the grenade episode we just did, a couple people asked about things like the weird anti-plant grenades, the vortex grenades.
Yeah.
We didn't do those because they weren't in the most recent current
They're
tier
not
list.
in the current trading post.
We might have to do a video on all the stuff that's been removed.
Oh, God.
Because that would be a fun video. And, it's Necromunda. You can throw it in. Yeah. Close combat weapons, however, there's 41 of these. We're rating them internally, especially close combat weapons, where everything here is technically not as good as shoot them with gun.
Yeah, that's
right. In most cases, because you have to walk up to them and then punch them. And in general, though, melee is a much better way of actually killing somebody because a severely injured result is basically an out-of-action result.
Just a death sentence.
Because you just step on their head, then they're dead. So, boy, I don't even know where we start with these. Let's start with, what I think is the basic put on almost everyone you can, because it's
I'm interested to
super
hear which
cheap.
one you're talking about.
It's just the good old fighting knife.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fighting knife is pretty good. It is, unless stated otherwise, these are base contact range only.
We will call out when they have versatile.
So the fighting knife is user strength, AP -1, 1 damage with backstab and melee. Also, you're not going to say melee for every single one.
Yeah, please don't.
It is common and only 15 credits. What backstab does is basically if you're in their back arc, you get +1 to your strength. If you have the backstab skill, it's an additional +1 to your strength.
So this is very ubiquitous. Almost everyone has this or a variant of it on their lists. Book of Iron has a backstop keyword on theirs. It's a typo. It just doesn't mean anything.
That's funny.
They did errata that,
didn't know
actually, yeah. So this one is very, very cheap. It's only 15 credits. Backstab means that if you get into someone's arc, you get that +1 strength, so you're probably hitting on strength 4 with most people. It does have a built-in 1 AP, which is not bad.
Yeah.
Honestly, between the 1 AP and the ability to sometimes get +1 strength, I think this goes very commonly into C tier.
Okay.
I don't think it's quite high enough to B, mostly because the rules on charging have changed.
That is true.
You can no longer charge up to someone and then do the Dark Souls thing where you try and get around their back arc and parry and stab them in the back.
Where you roll until you get to their back.
Yeah, that's you can't do that anymore.
If you enter their melee, you have to...
When you charge someone, you have to charge the closest route. You can no longer charge around somebody and hit them in the back. So really, the backstab thing only works if you are charging them from behind, or if they're already previously engaged.
Which makes sense.
So for that reason, I think this goes into the C now.
That is true. I think this was B before the change, just because you had some availability.
Yeah, you had a lot more ability to get behind someone and get basically a +1 strength.
But -1 AP very early in the game can be really
That's
strong.
why I like it as much as I do.
Yeah.
And for 15 credits.
Yeah.
Basically everybody has this. Let's go now to the axe.
The ox. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
So this one is +1 strength all the time, no AP,
Right.
1 damage, and the disarm trait.
Now, disarm is on a 6-2 hit.
On a 6-2 hit, the reaction attacks are treated as though they have no weapon.
Right, which it can be very powerful.
Can be very good. It's only 10 credits, so it's actually cheaper than a fighting knife.
Cheaper than the fighting knife. Only 10 credits gives you a permanent +1 strength. This is, for me, this actually might be A tier for me because of how cheap it is.
That's true. It is very cheap.
The axe is actually kind of my go-to for putting on, mooks.
Like every dude. It is not my go-to for mooks.
I'm trying to think of what your go-to for mooks is. But do you think A or B? I think A because it's only 10 credits.
That's fair. I think low A, we put stuff above it.
Yes.
It's not busted, but it is good.
Yeah, and disarm, it means they have the chance to... Because disarm works on, very few people are immune to disarm.
Yeah.
Very few people.
You could charge a, renderizer, and they're just like, oh no, my renderizer, punch.
Oh no, I've got noodle lands. So I say the axe goes in A tier because early game +1 strength is very strong. Yeah. It does fall off without AP.
Yeah. I actually like this in combination with the Iron Jaw skill. Because then if you disarm, you get the +2 toughness against... Yeah.
I have never considered that in my entire life. I'm still not going to, because I will never take Iron Jaw over checks notes, anything else in that tree.
Any other skill. Not just in that tree, man.
If it wasn't only a 6 to hit, maybe.
That's true, if it wasn't only a 6.
Now, you say, I said this was my go-to, but I lied, because here's my actual go-to. The flail.
The flail is my go-to.
The flail, yeah.
It's 20 credits, it's a little bit more.
So 20 credits, twice as much, which is the problem.
Yeah, that is the problem with it. But the benefit is +1 to hit, baby.
So still +1 strength.
+1 strength, +1 to hit, no AP, 1 damage, and entangle.
Right.
And entangle is, instead of a 6 to hit, is they get -2 to reaction attacks.
Which is almost better.
It depends on what you're going up against.
If you're going up a guy with 2 up to hit, that's not as good.
Yeah. Against a pure melee guy, I feel like the disarm is better. But against basically everybody else, -2 is just like, what? Why can't I hold all the moves?
So between the +1 to hit and the +1 strength,
Yeah.
I think the flail is the highest of A tier.
Yeah.
It's not quite S because it's not lasgun levels of cheap.
It's not super cheap and it's not busted.
Right. And it's not actually that great at killing things, but it's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Like, flail is my actual go-to. Flails and axes, it depends on whether I have 20 credits or 10 credits left.
Yeah, that was why I was like, is flail my go-to? Because it's double the credits, but man, that +1 to hit's so good.
The other problem with the flail is that for 5 credits more, you can get our next entry, the chain sword.
That's true. So the chain sword has also +1 to hit, no +1 strength, but a -1 to your AP, parry, and rending. The downside being that it is rare 8 and 25 credits. So unless it's on your house list, you'd have to find it.
Now, to be fair, it's on a lot of house lists.
It's on a lot of house lists.
It's on a lot of house lists.
Most jubes can even take this.
Yes. Parry is very good. You can force your opponent to reroll a hit roll. +1 to hit.
Yep.
Very good. +1 strength. Very good.
It does not have +1 strength.
Oh, no, sorry. There's no +1 strength. Sorry.
That's
it
the
has
downside.
It has 1 AP instead.
1 AP and +1 to hits. That combo is very strong.
Yes, which is why I think the chainsword actually goes into S.
Yeah.
Or very high.
The chainsword is just like, that is the one you can slap on literally anyone.
And be fairly effective.
And be fine.
Yeah. No bonus to strength means that it's meh, but...
Yeah.
Or it's meh in that regard.
Yeah.
Speaking of meh in that regard, how about the cleaver?
Oh, man, we just jumped off a cliff there, didn't we?
Swan dive, yeah.
It is +1 to your strength, -1 to AP, and also has disarm for a common weapon and 20 credits.
That's the problem. So,
like, compare this. So this is comparable to the cleaver.
yes.
But you lose.
You mean the axe?
No, I was comparing it to the cleaver. Sorry.
You keep saying the cleaver, and I don't know what
I
you
meant
mean.
the flail.
Okay.
This is comparable to the flail because they're the same credits.
Yes.
And you basically exchange a AP for a +1 to hit.
Yes. So I guess it's not really that bad, honestly. I'm going to put this
not.
B tier.
Yeah.
+1 to hit is more valuable to me.
Yeah, I agree.
But it is 20 credits.
Especially for all these cheap weapons where generally you're putting these on guys with like 4s or 5s to hit.
Wait, the cleaver is strength +1 and AP1?
Yeah, strength +1 and AP1.
No, I'm putting that above the axe.
Oh. I mean, it's double the credits.
It's double the credits, but I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, it is. It's basically an upgraded axe.
Yeah. Let's go for another upgraded axe with the chain axe.
Yeah, chain axe. It is. This one always gets me because it's kind of an upgraded chain sword.
It is, but you pay for it.
But you pay for it. It is +1 to hit, +1 strength, -1 AP, 1 damage, disarm, parry, and rending for rare 9 and 30 credits.
So you get 5 credits more.
Yeah.
You get the +1 strength in
Yep.
addition to the AP, and that's mostly it.
And you get disarm because it's an axe.
Yes.
It's hard to.
I think the chain axe is right up there with chainsword. I think it is a perfectly priced side grade to the chainsword.
I think it should be. I feel like only 5 credits difference is too close for getting 2 benefits. I think it should be more expensive, which means it's probably up there with chainsword.
Yeah. Interchangeable, honestly.
Yeah, pretty close.
How about what do we want to do next? How much is the basic sword?
Basic sword. It is +1 to hit, strength user, -1 AP, and parry with 20 credits and rare 6.
Yeah.
The lowest rarity in the game.
Yeah, like it's the lowest thing it can be where it still has a rarity, right?
Don't roll bad.
Right.
I don't really like the sword compared to some of the other options. It is still +1 to hit,
right.
but like okay, let me compare. Sword to flail.
You are trading the +1 to strength for 1 AP. And you're getting parry instead of entangle.
Instead of a tangle.
I think it's a B.
Yeah.
The sword's pretty good.
Sword's pretty good. I personally like the two-handed sword a lot better, but it's two-handed.
And if you're like, wow, this top tier list is very top heavy, don't worry, we'll get there. There's a lot of bad weapons. How about the good old stiletto knife?
Stiletto knife is no stats toxin for rare 9 and 20 credits.
So the stiletto knife is a C tier weapon because it has bonuses or malice to hit, but it's 20 credits. The stiletto knife is good. I'm actually going to put it above the fighting knife. The nice thing about a stiletto knife is it doesn't go keyed off your strength at all.
That's true, but it keys off your opponent's toughness.
Right. It also gets a lot better if you use it with Escher.
True.
Yeah.
Fine. I was gonna say below fighting knife, but that's.
I think it doesn't really super matter too much.
No.
All right.
It's just the fact that you go to stab this knife into a Goliath, and they're like, "What?"
True, but it's basically Goliaths. I mean, nowadays we have Goliaths and squats and ogrins who don't care, but most people don't have toughness 4.
That's true.
How about the Maul?
The Maul parentheses club. I don't know why they keep doing that. It is user strength AP. I keep forgetting this. AP +1 and damage 2 with no abilities. It is common and 10 credits and an F.
Yeah, so the Maul gives your opponent more armor save. That is not a typo.
Nope, it is not a typo.
It does have 2 damage, but it's also user strength.
Yeah, you would think strength +1 something.
And for 10 credits, get an axe. Getting that 2 damage through is nice, but it doesn't actually matter. Don't ever use them all.
If they have mesh armor, they just have a 50-50 to just ignore it.
Right, yeah.
It's so bad. Mauls are so terrible.
Let's whip it good.
With the whip, this one's versatile. It's a 3-inch versatile, which is pretty strong. Unfortunately, it is -1 to hit while in base contact, because whipping someone you're hugging is difficult. User strength, no AP. Entangle and melee versatile, which we knew already. It is common and 15 credits.
So I think the whip goes in B tier because the ability to smack someone without getting smacked back
is very strong.
For
something that cheap.
Yeah. Now, it is worse if someone charges you. There's a couple on here that are like that. But overall, it's a pretty decent choice.
Yeah, it's not a bad option.
It's also possible to whip over your friends.
That's true.
Or a pet.
You can't accidentally whip them like you can with shooting them.
There's nothing like that. All right, how about the Servo Claw?
Servo Claw is +2 strength, no AP, and 2 damage. It's rare 10 and 35 credits.
So the thing about the Servo Claw is +2 strength is really good.
Yes.
No AP is not.
Is really not good.
This thing's really good early game when people aren't rocking a lot of AP, and it falls off,
armor.
or aren't rocking a lot of armor, and falls off when people get armor.
Quickly.
So I'm going to put this in C tier as well.
Yeah. It's good early, bad late.
A chain axe will probably serve you better for longer is the thing.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, how about the heavy club, which is not a two-handed weapon?
It's not a two-handed weapon. It also doesn't give your opponent +1 armor. It's strength, user, no AP, 2 damage, concussion, common, and 15 credits.
So for 5 credits more than a Maul, you lose the give them a bonus armor and gain concussion.
Yes, for 5 credits.
It's better.
It is better. It's not good.
No, I'm going to put this...
Isn't concussion just minus to your
initiative?
Your initiative?
Yeah.
That's bad.
Which makes it hard to get away from you.
That's true.
That's what it's for. It's still D tier.
It's still D tier. That's where I would have put it.
All right, so how about the Stiletto Sword?
Stiletto Sword is a stiletto knife, but with -1 AP. I lost it. Where is it? So yep, -1 AP. Oh, and parry.
Yes.
Oh, I forgot about
so
parry.
with
It's a
parry,
sword.
how many credits?
It is parry toxin, 35 credits and rare 9.
Yeah, you pay a bit too much for that, so I'm still putting that C tier.
Yeah. I think it's better. The -1 AP is a big deal, but yeah 10 credits more is... Oh, sorry. 15 credits more.
Yeah, it's a lot more.
Yeah.
How about the first of our power weapons, the Power Knife, which is actually under the normal...
It's under the knives, not the power.
Yeah.
It is strength +1, -2 AP, backstab, and power for 25 credits and rare 9. That one's not terrible. Oh, so for what power does, on a 6 to hit, they get no save. which is crazy, and double the damage.
Yep, which is damage 1.
Which is it's damage 1, so it would go to damage 2.
You can also never parry a power weapon except with another power weapon.
Yes.
So I like the power knife a lot.
I do too. It's
is.
only 25 credit. It's a good late game. Like this guy needs a melee weapon.
Yeah. Or even an early game, this guy needs a melee weapon.
That's
For
true.
25 credits, like it is cheap as a chainsword. And you're getting strength +1 and 2 AP.
Yeah.
You just don't get parry.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
So I think the power knife goes in A tier.
Interesting. I've never bought a power knife.
I have a few times. Usually not on people who actually need to like do major melee stuff, but I
Yeah.
bought it a few times.
Fair enough.
All right, let's go to some of our other power weapons. How about the just general power sword?
Sword.
Good old power sword just has strength +1, -2 AP, 1 damage, and it's got parry and power. It is 50 credits, however.
Yes. It basically
And rare 9.
It's the power knife, but it exchanges backstab for parry.
And strength plus. Oh, they both got strength +1.
Both have strength +1.
Yeah. So the problem is that it is twice the credits of a power knife
Yeah.
for only getting parry,
Yes.
which is useful for
It is
keeping
useful.
you alive. A lot of the time, though, melee engagements, you're trying to kill things before they kill you at all.
Yeah.
Or they can hit you back at all, right? I think the power knife or the power sword. Every time I get the power sword, I kind of regret not just getting something a little bit better for a little bit more.
It's 50 credits is too much.
50 credits is too much. I think it goes into B tier, honestly.
You would put it as high as B?
Yeah, because AP2 and strength +1 is still pretty good. I guess it's
We're
just,
rating internally.
yeah, it's just priced poorly.
It's priced very poorly.
I'll put it in C tier.
I would generally. Would you rather get? Okay, fair enough.
I would rather get a power sword of anything else than anything else on
Yeah,
C tier.
I was looking at C and I was like, yeah, I'd probably rather get a power sword. 50
Yeah.
credits though.
Yeah. All right. So something you would upgrade to, and which is inexplicably cheaper. This is the problem. Is like I feel like the power sword is just wrong in cost.
Yeah.
Because the power axe, on the other hand, is 35 credits. You get strength +2, 2 AP, and 1 damage. You do lose parry, but instead you get disarm.
Yep.
You have the same AP.
They are valuing parry very highly,
They are.
which is crazy because you can get a sword for only 20 credits that has parry.
Or yeah. So the power axe, I think, is A tier.
Power axe is very.
It's just an upgraded axe that you pay for.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah, it's so weird to me that they did that. I've forgotten about that. Sorry, I'm trying to find it on here. There's so
It's in
many
the
of these.
power.
Pick, power, hammer, fist, claw, axe.
There it is.
Boop. Put it in as A somewhere. That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
So I like the power axe a lot.
Yeah, me too.
The power maul is kind of a side grade to the power axe. So the power maul is strength +2, so same strength as the power axe. AP -1, 1 damage, melee and power, and it's 5 credits cheaper.
Yeah.
So you're losing a point of AP and you're losing disarm for
only 5 credits.
For only 5 credits.
I'd probably rather just have the axe.
I would also rather have the power axe, which is why I'm putting the power maul in B tier. It's still pretty good.
Okay.
You think it's C?
I'm trying to see if I would rather have that than a sword. Yeah, I probably would.
I would.
How is it? How is the sword so expensive?
Because it's got parry.
Yeah.
Now, it used to be the power axe wasn't on this list, which is why it was like not as much of a contest, but now it is, and it is therefore a contest. All these are rare 8, by the way. Like the lowest, oh no, except the sword's rare 9. It's also more rare.
It's
Yeah.
more rare and more expensive and worse.
Power fist. Let's go to a real primo option. The power fist is strength +3, 3 AP, 3 damage. It's got power, of course, pulverize, and unwieldy, so you can't dual wield it unless you have suspensors for it. But for that, you will have a rare 11 100 credit thing. Here's the thing. Strength +3, 3 AP, 3 damage is awesome.
Is ridiculous.
The fact that now here's the thing though, dual wielding in melee is really good, and therefore
This is 140 credits.
unwieldy brings this down a lot.
Yes, it
I
does.
think this is still only B tier because of the cost and the unwieldy.
I agree.
I've used the power fist. It's amazing because you hit something and they just kind of explode.
I want to be rich enough to dual wield power fists.
Put them up. Put up your dukes.
Exactly.
Explodes. Oh God. Would you need a suspensor for each one?
Yes,
it's two
because they're weapon attachments.
So you wouldn't buy suspensors, you just buy the harness.
Yes.
The power, yeah.
Yes, that is true. And you get +2 strength. That's disgusting.
Strength plus 5.
Strength. I roided out.
Oh, that's a Goliath Stimmer. That's nice.
Meet my Cawdor hobo.
Power Claws. Power Claws are user strength, 1 AP, 2 damage. They've got power and pulverize. They're rare 11, but 55 credits. You get 2 AP, but you get no
1 AP.
Sorry,
2
you
damage.
get 2 damage, but you only get 1 AP, and you only get user strength. I don't like Power Claws in Necromunda.
User strength is pretty bad. I wish so. In every other iteration of Power Claws, you get to reroll your wound rolls.
Yeah,
not in this.
Nothing like that one. Well, that's because it's Power Claw, not Power
That's true.
Claws.
You're not don't have 2.
Yeah, I'm putting these C tier. They're still a power weapon,
Yeah, there's still a power up,
and they're 55 credits.
they're cheaper than every other power weapon.
But
No,
not
that's
except
true.
Power
That's
Sword.
not true. That's not true.
No, they're not.
They're cheaper than a Power Fist, and
That's the thing. They're so pricey. Actually, I might put Power Claws D tier, honestly. They're so expensive for what they are.
yeah, if they were AP2,
2 damage just doesn't carry you enough.
no, it doesn't.
Again, we're rating these compared to other power weapons, and other power weapons these go in D.
Yeah.
The Power Hammer is not the Thunder Hammer. That's a different thing.
Different weapon.
So the Power Hammer is only a one-handed weapon. It's strength plus 1, AP 1, 2 damage, melee and power for 45 credits. Why is this 10 credits more than the axe? Because it's 2 damage. I get why.
Yeah, it's double damage.
They're putting a lot of effort into double damage, which is very good.
Yes.
And strength plus 1 puts you at strength 4, honestly strength 5 for a lot of your melee models.
Yes, true.
I still think this is only a C.
Yeah, I don't know. Damage 2.
2 damage 2. Okay, B.
B.
Higher than the other weapons. Power Pick. Power Pick your nose. Strength plus 1, 3 AP, 1 damage, power and pulverize for 40 credits. The Power Pick is a mainstay of Orlock leaders because an AP 3 strength plus 1 will carry you a long way.
True.
I think it goes firmly into B tier.
I think that's reasonable.
It's more accessible than a Power Fist.
How firmly? That's true. It is more accessible.
Almost done with the power weapons. I think we are done with the power weapons. Yeah, we are. Okay. So how about now the Shock Stave? So the Shock Stave is another versatile weapon. Favorite of Vansar players. Well, maybe not favorite, but
Yeah, I mean, it's what we got.
2-inch versatile. Strength plus 1, no AP, 1 damage. Shock, which auto wounds in a 6, and of course versatile. It's rare 9, but it's only 25 credits. So Vansar have it on their list.
Yeah.
2-inch versatile is really good.
2-inch versatile is very strong.
Yes. Shock is pretty good for your low strength guys.
Funnily enough, it has plus 1 strength and shock.
Yeah, which kind of has technically anti-synergy. I think this kind of goes in C tier. It's fine.
It's fine. It's a good, cheap option. 2-inch versatile is always going to be good because it increases your threat range by 2.
Yeah. Lets you poke people who don't, without getting in a melee with them.
Yeah. Poke people who don't want to be poked, like Josh.
Yeah. The flip side of that is the Shock Baton,
Yes.
which has user strength, still no AP, 1 damage, shock, and parry, and it's only 30 credits.
So you trade the plus 1 strength and the versatile for parry.
Right.
Oh, and 5 credits.
And 5 credits.
I like the stave better.
I think the baton goes either very low C or very high D, honestly.
Yeah, every time I look at the shock baton, I was like, why I should just get a stave.
Yeah.
Like, this is not here to deal damage. I mean, I guess parry isn't there to deal damage. It's there to
Right.
stop damage.
Right.
I don't know. I just
A user strength weapon with no AP and 1 damage, even with parry, is not great.
It's not great.
So I think actually this is going to go in D.
you just get I mean, I know it has shock, but just get a sword.
Yeah, just get a sword. Get a sword. All right. Let me see what else is on this list. The Lightning Claw.
Lightning claw.
The Lightning Claw is a strength plus 1 to hit weapon with 2 AP and 1 damage. It has parry, power, and rending. But it's rare 11 and 70 credits.
It's really rare. It's pretty expensive.
It does have parry,
It does have parry,
and it does have 2 AP and plus 1 to hit.
and rending is plus 1 AP on a 6.
Yeah. So I say it's still high C tier,
Yeah.
but 70 credits kind of kills it for
70
me.
credits kind of kills it.
Again, they rate parry very highly, and parry is very good, but
It's not that good.
put it somewhere in the middle of C. All right. Let me see. That's a weird one. Oh, the good old Las Cutter.
All right.
So the Las Cutter is a weird one. It is a 2-inch versatile weapon.
I'm gonna take a nap while Josh yaps on.
I'm not.
about
It's
the
not
Las
going to take
Cutter.
that long. The Las Cutter is a 2-inch versatile weapon. It's got +1 to hit in short range though, so you still want to get into short range if possible.
You just can do it long range.
It has strength 9, so just base strength 9,
Yep.
which is rare for a melee. 3 AP, 2 damage. Melee, scarce and versatile.
You skipped one.
What?
You
I'm
skipped
getting. I'm getting there.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought you were gonna say it next. That's why I leaned forward.
Oh, okay. Would you like me to retake that?
No, it's fine.
All right. Sorry, I forgot where I was now. It has melee, scarce. Wait, what does that mean? And versatile. Now, scarce, if you if you need a reminder, only works against ammo checks. Why does this have an ammo check? Well, this has a 6-up ammo check, and the FAQ confirms you have to roll an ammo dice for every attack of this weapon, not just every instance of attacking. No. Every attack you make, so if you charge with this thing and nothing else and make 3 attacks with it or whatever, you have to roll 3 ammo dice. And if any of them are an ammo check, it doesn't have a number of hits though, so you're not getting a benefit from this. But if any of them are an ammo check, and you have to roll a 6 or higher, otherwise this thing runs out of ammo.
And can't reload.
And for that, it is 85 credits and rare 10.
So it is super, super strong.
Yes.
Like once.
You get 1 shot, maybe 2. The funny thing is, I've never actually run out of ammo with Last Cutter.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
somehow. I've just
crazy.
never run out of ammo with Last Cutter. The Last Cutter is the best Ridge Hauler killer in the game.
Yes.
Because you run up to a Ridge Hauler, you get the +1 to hit for being in melee, you get the +1 to hit for being in melee with a vehicle. It's strength 9, AP 3, 2 damage of however many hits you get.
And remember, high damage doesn't kill a vehicle. A lot of attacks kill a vehicle.
Right. But a lot of damage to attacks definitely
Does
kill a
both,
vehicle.
yep.
The Last Cutter is very, 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 very good, but you will immediately run out of ammo.
Yes.
So for that, I think it only goes into A tier because of its
Yes.
price and its you got 1 shot kind of nature. It's good, and it's only 85 credits, which is actually not as bad as some of the more premier options.
True.
But rated against other melee weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Ironically, the Last Cutter is actually better on somebody who's not necessarily actually good at punching,
That's true.
because the +1 to hit helps a lot, and the lower number of attacks helps them not run out of ammo.
If you are flush for cash late game, just put this on all of your ranged guys.
I personally love putting this on wreckers
yeah. Oh god.
because they get +1 to hit when
I mean,
they jump.
they're just like kamikaze bombs anyway.
Right. Yeah, the Last Cutter is really fun, but he's goodbye ammo.
Yeah.
Obviously, ammo jacks increase its
Yeah.
stock
The
amazingly.
ability-
The fact that ammo jacks work on this is a great question because
Munitioneer also works on
yeah,
it.
yeah. Who knows? All right, let's get now to the two-handed weapons before we get to the weird stuff. The Great Sword. You're a Khador player.
I am a Khador player.
So the Great Sword is a 1-inch versatile weapon, which is not very far, but still does matter because other people have to get up to punch you. At 1 inch, it's got a +1 to hit, but it doesn't have a minus in melee or in entangled.
In short range.
That's good. Its strength only +1, which is a little weird. AP 1 damage, but it's got sever. Now it does also have unwieldy, but it has sever.
Yes.
And sever is if you get to the damage stage, they die.
Yep. You don't roll. They're just.
And it's rare 10, but it's only 40 credits.
Yes.
Now Khador loves this thing because it's on their list.
Yes, and it is super cheap. And okay, so hear me out. Look at me, camera 3. Look at me. So versatile 1 is not as bad as you think.
No,
because
versatile 1's great. I think versatile 1's good.
Versatile 1's great. Here's the reason that versatile 1 I wouldn't say is better than versatile 2 because versatile 2 has the options. You can't coup de grace outside of 1 inch. So a versatile 2 weapon, you kind of want to be in 1 inch anyway.
Why does it matter? Because if you hit anything that would put them down, they die. It's sever.
That's true. Ignore everything I said.
Sorry, I didn't think about that.
Yep,
In any
it
other
is
case,
severed.
I would let you.
In
I'm
any
gonna
other
let you
case.
finish.
Yeah,
But
okay, don't stop hearing me out.
yeah, no, you're
Josh
not.
corrected me.
I do think though, versatile 1's good.
Versatile 1's
Versatile 1 is not bad at all. It's only bad against someone with versatile 2.
Yeah, basically.
No, I think the Great Sword is A.
Yeah,
I think it's a good weapon.
It is nice.
It's a little
and
pricey and it's unwieldy.
It is unwieldy. When I was playing Khador, I put it on one of my champions, and he did work.
It's also fun to try to be the Zweihander guy from Dark Souls, you know?
Yeah. Or I was gonna say, there can only be one.
Yeah. Something Berserk. I don't know.
Yeah.
I never watched that show.
Me either.
All right. How about the good old polearm? Polearm is a versatile 2 weapon, but it's -1 to hit at close range. Strength +1, no AP, 1 damage, still unwieldy, rare 9 and 30 credits. I don't like the pole.
I was gonna ask why you said the good old polearm.
It's on a lot of things, but I think it's a D tier weapon.
Yeah.
Versatile 2 is all it has, and you might as well get a whip.
Yep. Speaking of Khador,
because the whip is half the cost.
Yeah, the whip's half the cost. Speaking of Khador, they have their specialty polearm weapons that are a polearm plus and cheaper.
Yeah, the thing about the A, they're cheaper, and B, they have various munitions attached to the top of them that makes them way better.
Yeah. The polearm, I hate
the polearm's bad. The chain glaive, on the other hand.
Chain glaive is one of my favorite weapons.
The chain glaive is another versatile 2-inch weapon. It is still -1 to hit in engagement range, which kind of sucks. But for that, you get strength +2, 2 AP, 2 damage. Rare 7, only 60 credits. I like the chain glaive.
+2 strength, -2 AP, 2 damage.
That's a solid stat line, baby. That's a real solid stat line for multiple attacks, too.
Yeah.
I like the chain glaive a lot. It's obviously way better as an offensive weapon than a defensive weapon.
Yeah.
But I think the chain glaive goes in A tier.
Hell yeah.
I don't think it's quite S, because it is 60 credits and that -1 to hit in engagement range.
Yeah. Unwieldy can be annoying with it, too, but...
The two-handed axe. It gives you a -1 to hit. It's F tier. Moving on. No, we'll talk about it. So the two-handed axe is not a versatile weapon. It's just always -1 to hit. Yes, it's strength +2. Yes, it's 2 damage. But it doesn't have disarm. It's only 25 credits. It's still bad. -1 to hit sucks.
So make it 10 extra credits, maybe rare like 7 or something, and get rid of the -1 to hit.
Yeah.
The spoiler alert, the two-handed hammer is also bad because it gives you -1 hit. These are both awful.
The two-handed hammer gets only +1 strength and 3 damage, and also it has knockback.
35 credits.
It's still F tier. -1 to hit. You wouldn't put this on one of your good guys because you don't want the -1 to hit.
Yeah.
You wouldn't put this on one of your bad guys because it's too pricey, and you really don't want the -1 to hit on someone who's hitting on a 5.
So they're not too pricey, especially the axe. The axe is not expensive. It's just worthless.
Right. Like strength +2, 2 damage is not the worst, but I would rather not have that and be able to hit.
I've used these before. This is from experience. They're awful. I never hit with them ever.
Yeah. Now, how about we get to the weird heavy, the GSC weapons? Starting with the Heavy Rock Cutter. The Heavy Rock Cutter is a normal range weapon. It is strength +4, 4 AP, 3 damage, melee, unwieldy. For only rare 9, but a whopping 135 credits.
We did start with the most expensive one.
The only problem is the price on this one, because if you give this to anybody, it will make them cease to exist.
Yes.
AP 4, strength +4 means you give this to a normal guy and he's got strength 7. And then the AP 4 means it goes through, and then the 3 damage means they just die.
Yeah, every single hit kills an ogre.
Right.
Like, this weapon is insane if you can afford it.
But it's so expensive. I think it goes into either B or A. It's a primo weapon. You get what you pay for.
It is a primo weapon. I would say B, and the reason is I think the other heavy weapons...
the other ones accomplish basically the same thing.
Yeah, for cheaper.
Like the Rock Drill, which is same thing, normal melee range, strength only +2, AP only 3, and only 2 damage, still unwieldy, pulverize, and 90 credits.
So for 45 less credits, you lose 2 strength, which is not a small deal, but 1 AP, 1 damage, but gain pulverize?
Pulverize is really good.
Pulverize is really strong.
AP 3, 2 damage, strength +2 is going to get through, is a threat to almost anything.
Yeah.
The big downside of this one is unwieldy.
Yes.
Which obviously GSC cares a lot less about.
Yes, because they have their third arms.
All of these go a tier up with GSC.
Yeah.
I think this goes in B above the Rock Cutter.
Yes, I think it is better than the Rock Cutter.
But it's still B because of unwieldy.
Yes.
Same thing with the Heavy Rock Saw, which actually, no, the Heavy Rock Saw I'm going to put in A because the Heavy Rock Saw
has +1 to hit.
is +1 to hit, strength +3, 3 AP, 2 damage, rending. It's 120 credits, but the power of +1 to hit cannot be understated.
Yep.
This is, I think, better than the Rock Cutter, despite being cheaper.
Yes.
I think the AP3 isn't actually that much less meaningful than AP4.
Not really.
I'm putting that in low A.
Yeah, I like that. That one is the one I like the most.
It's a really good weapon, but
really strong.
But all right, and now we get to the. Oh no, we got one more standard one. I filed it under weird, but this is an iconic weird.
It is an iconic.
It's the Thunderhammer. The Thunderhammer, friend of the show, Cody's favorite weapon.
It's one of my favorite weapons.
I mean, yeah. I was thinking in Space Marine too.
Oh, yeah, fair.
He mains Thunderhammer.
Gotcha.
He just bonks people.
No, I've used this in
Darktide.
I've used this in Necromunda before. This thing is disgusting.
No, I love the Thunderhammer. But you know why I love the Thunderhammer?
Why?
Because it's not unwieldy.
Exactly.
So the Thunderhammer
you're one-handing Mjolnir.
Apparently in Necromunda, a Thunderhammer is not the two-handed Thunderhammer we think of. It's the one-handed Thunderhammers.
Yeah.
Thunderhammers. The Thunderhammer is only strength +1.
Yeah.
And it's only 1 AP, but it's 3 damage. And it's got shock and power. And it's only 70 credits.
It's only 70 credits.
But rare 11. This thing to me is absolutely slap mode.
It is. So it is. I'm feeling lucky. I'm going to the casino after this because every 6 is shock power, which means they get no wound, they get no armor, 4 damage.
Right. Which is why this goes into S tier.
It's disgusting.
If it wasn't only 70 credits.
Yeah.
Now, I know like a lot of you are going to look at this and go, it's only strength +1, it's only 1 AP. What the heck are they talking about? The possibility of shock with the damage profile of 3, and the fact that it's not unwieldy and only 70 credits.
Yeah.
The rarity's the big downside, but you can get around that.
Yes. So basically the 2 downsides are only strength +1 and only AP -1. And the 2 abilities get around those 2 downsides.
Yes. With a rare 11, if you're sending your leader and 2 champs, you only need to roll a 7 on the trading post.
That's true. And that's easy. That's easy.
I love the Thunderhammer.
Yeah, me too.
The Thunderhammer is so much fun. It just go bonk.
Yeah.
All right, now we got on to some other weird stuff. Back to your side for the Digilaser.
The Digilaser is a weird one.
Digilaser, digital lasers.
I was going to make the Digimon joke.
They suck absolute butt.
No, Josh, no. They're versatile 3, strength 1, AP nothing, 1 damage, and a 6-up ammo check. They're rare 10 and 25 credits, and they have the Digi rule.
So the Digi rule means that if you make friends with it, it evolves. I don't know. I didn't play Digimon. No, the Digi rule, which I'm looking up right now because I honestly forget.
It's the only weapon in the game, I think, that has it.
It can be used in addition to any other melee weapon carries by the fighter, granting an additional close combat attack. A weapon with this trait does not count towards the maximum number of weapons a fighter can carry. However, the maximum number of weapons with this trait a fighter can carry is 10. So you're supposed to, like, get 10 of these.
Yeah, you're supposed to stack these for multiple AP nothing, 1 damage attacks.
But for 1 AP... Okay, yeah, 1 damage means you are always wounding on a 6.
Yes.
Always.
Always.
So even if you had 10 of these...
No, if they're toughness 1, if you've flesh wounded them down to toughness 1...
You're always wounding on a 6.
Then you're wounding on a 4.
Right. You're wounding most of the time on a 6 because it's twice your strength, right? Even if you have 10 of these, that means you're statistically getting slightly less than 2 of these through, and then it has AP 0.
And that
would cost you 250 credits.
And also because, as we've discussed earlier, it has an ammo check. So every single one of these you have to roll an ammo dice for, and you have a chance to run out of ammo with it.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to slap that. Like 3-inch versatile is fine, I guess, but not... This is a fun thing to put on someone for like a campaign reward.
I'm going to pimp out one of my champions to have 10 of these.
It's like playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, this is... funny as a campaign thing. It's not good. We're putting it in F tier.
Yeah, it's awful.
No, it's pretty bad.
Why? Okay, and if the goal is to get 10 of these, why is it rare 10?
I don't know. How about the Gore Drinker Axe?
The Gore Drinker Axe
That's right.
It is our first esoteric weapon. It is strength +3, AP 1, 2 damage, esoteric, reckless, and rending. And only 40 credits at illegal 9.
So it's actually pretty good.
It is pretty good.
Strength +3, my AP 1, 2 damage for only 40 credits is actually really, really good. Now, reckless means that you have to target everyone you can in melee, but that's not a problem if no one else gets into melee with you.
Yes.
I think this is an S tier weapon.
Oh, really?
Strength +3, 1 AP, 2 damage. You're reaching Thunderhammer levels of things.
That's true.
For 40 credits.
That's true.
This is another one.
Yeah.
Where this is up there with the Warpstorm Bolter and other things like this. If you're using a Gore Drinker axe, you have to have a narrative reason for it. Because this thing is a cursed axe. Yes. All right? It's really, really good. But
So the only real downside is AP1 and it has rending. So
yeah, and it's 40 credits.
it's only 40 credits.
Yeah, this is an S tier weapon.
It's really good.
This might actually be the best weapon on this list.
Wow,
For that,
really?
for strength +3, AP1, 2 damage. That's really good for 40 credits.
I've never used a Gore Drinker.
Because this isn't something like if you put a Gore Drinker axe in every single Vansar member, you need to be playing Khorne Vansar. Okay, you need to have I'm not saying you have to be Khorne corrupted. You have to have a narrative reason for this. Yeah. Don't just throw this on everybody.
In my play group.
Because I can buy this from the you should not be able to. This is my one problem with them mixing up the trading post, right? Like you should not just be able to buy something called the Gore Drinker axe for 40 credits from your local friendly dealer.
Hey, it's illegal.
Imagine walking into the Range USA and on the wall there's you've got your Sig Sauer, you've got your 22 Ruger, you've got the Gore Drinker axe, and you've got your your R15.
Why does that one emit a aura of terror?
Oh, well, you have to have a Gore Drinker axe license for this one.
Yeah,
Are you buying from out of state? You can't do that. It's a felony. We have to ship it to a gun store to transfer it. Like, this shouldn't be in the same universe
in the
as
same
these.
realm.
It's like the Warpstorm Bolter.
Yeah.
The fact you can just doodle your way up to the local trading post and buy a cursed Warpstorm Bolter is a problem.
I found one of these in the dumpster. I don't even know what it does.
I got a discount.
Yeah,
That being said, it's really good.
really good and really strong.
How about the Hex Iron Blade?
The Hex Iron Blade.
I mean, it's Hex apostrophe Iron, so it's probably Hexeron or something like that,
Hexeron,
but
yeah.
it looks like Hex Iron.
It is strength +1, AP 3, 1 damage, cursed, esoteric, and parry for 25 credits.
It's a 25 credit weapon that's cursed. If you hit your opponent, they go insane. On top of that, it's strength +1, 3 AP.
And parry.
And parry. This thing is broken. It is also an S tier weapon. It's
illegal 9. Apparently, they're like, oh, they're never going to
illegal
come
9
across.
just means illegal 10 for
The
law-abiding
rare 10,
gangs.
yeah.
And like, if you're a law-abiding gang, you should not be able to buy this without having to make some kind of check to be an outlaw gang.
That changed in this book.
Right.
Because you used to have to make a check to even see if you could get illegal stuff, and now it's just like, eh.
Now it's just you have a +1 to try and
you walk into the grocery store and go, hey, what you got in the back?
you look too square for me.
Exactly.
Like, again, this thing's amazing because unlike every other cursed weapon we've talked about, except for the Warpstorm Bolter, which was also amazing.
Also busted.
This has no ammo check or anything like
No,
that.
it's just every time you hit with it.
Every time you hit somebody.
Oh, hang on. I have to see how that works in Melee. Do you get one for every check?
I believe it's every hit.
Every hit? Oh, I literally put this on the thing and I forgot.
We will double check. Coist. A fighter hit. It is all it says.
Oh my god. Is that okay? House rule. Once per combat.
Oh yeah,
please.
absolutely. It's not like hit.
Well, the problem is if I have like 5 attacks.
That's what I mean.
It's like da-da-da-da.
Make 5 checks.
Make 5 checks.
No,
and
you
you're
got
cursed.
hit with it once. You're too busy reeling from the initial. Yeah.
busted.
Again, absolutely broken. How about the Whisperbane knife? The Whisperbane Kniff.
Knif. It is +1 to hit, strength normal, AP nothing, 1 damage, backstab, esoteric, scatter shot, illegal 11, harder to come across than a curse knife, by the way, and 30 credits.
Because it's a shotgun knife.
So I want you to know, when I was playing, what was I playing? I was playing, what are they? Goliath. My leader had 2 of these. She had the ability.
I believe that we call this the 100-hand slap.
She had the ability to put out, I believe it was 90 attacks. But their strength nothing, AP nothing.
You are already dead. Because of that, this is just, I just don't think this is A tier.
You think so?
It's scatter shot.
Yeah, for every hit you do, you get D6 hits. It's really good.
A or B tier?
I think illegal 11 makes this significantly harder, so
Okay.
B.
Yeah. Although, if you're playing an outlaw gang, you only have to roll a 7 if
Yeah,
you're
true.
bringing, and that's a +4. Yeah. So, again, you need to have a reason to be bringing the Whisperbane.
The Whisperbane knife. The knife that whispers at you.
How about the Xenarch Death Arc?
Xenarch Death. Is it Xenarch Death Arc? Is that what it is?
No, because that's never arch. You never pronounce that like that.
never
A
pronounce
Xenarch
arch?
is like, I'm assuming that's like a monarch, but...
Oh, okay.
Monarch! but alien.
Monarch Death Arc.
Yeah. Monarch Death Arc.
It is versatile 5 inches, +1 to hit in base contact, which is weird. Strength 3, AP nothing, 1 damage, a 2-up ammo check, with, let me take a deep breath, Esoteric, Melee, Plentiful, Rapid Fire 2, Shock, and Versatile at 75 credits and Illegal 9.
So for Rapid Fire 2 with Shock, means you have a really good chance of getting a lot of hits through.
Yes.
But it is 75 credits.
It is 75 credits.
However,
it's only strength. It's strength 3 always.
Right.
So this is decent on somebody who doesn't have a good melee profile.
And Rapid Fire 2, even if you don't get the shock through, just means that you're getting at least 2 hits in for every hit. So this is always doubling your number of attacks.
Yes.
And yeah, it's got an ammo check, but it's got Plentiful. Who cares?
It's got ammo check 2 up and Plentiful. So even if you run out, you're just going to reload it.
Right. Yeah, I think this is
The only thing that holds us back is 75 credits.
70 credits. I think it's B tier because it's 75 credits.
I was going to say B as well. If you've got the cash, this thing is good.
Yeah, what's with the 100-hand slap weapons we got here?
I know. I love them. And Versatile 5?
Yeah, that's Mr. Fantastic's going to slap you. But then you don't get the +1 to hit.
Yeah, you don't, that's true. You don't get the +1 hit.
All right, so now we've got Desire's Needle, which is...
I always read it as Desiree.
Maybe it is.
Desiree's Needle.
It's an engagement weapon, but it's +1 to hit all the time. Strength +2, AP 1, which is weird because Strength +2 doesn't work with Toxin, which it is.
Which it is. It is Toxin and Esoteric.
And Power and Chem Delivery.
Which also, only kind of works with having no damage, because you don't get +1 damage, but you do ignore the armor.
Right.
That's a...
Well, no, Toxin doesn't ignore armor. That's gas.
No, Power does.
Oh, Power does, yeah.
Armor.
Strength +2 on a Toxin weapon. I wonder if what they meant to do with this is that this is a Toxin weapon that adds +2 to your roll.
Maybe?
If they did that, that makes this pretty good.
That's
for 50 credits. As it stands, we're going to put this in C tier like every other Chem Delivery weapon we do.
Yeah, because Chem Delivery is... It's on that weird borderline of useless and busted.
Right. You better have a plan.
Yeah.
And then lastly, the Tenebrous Scourge. It's a versatile 3-inch weapon with strength +3 and only 1 damage with Esoteric, but also Entangle and Power for 60 credits and illegal 10. Strength +3 is decent. Versatile's decent, but no AP is not.
No AP. It's not like a flail where you get +1 to hit.
60 credits is not great.
60 credits is not great.
I say this is also a good C tier. It's fine. Strength +3 is pretty good.
Strength +3 is pretty
And
good.
Power is pretty good because Power means they don't ever get an armor. They don't get an armor save if
That's true.
you do get that 6.
Again, you're kind of like slot machining, hoping you get the 6.
And Versatile 3 is good.
Yeah.
And that's it. That is it for our massive melee tier list.
There's honestly more in B and C than I expected.
I kind of knew how this was going to turn out this way. Now, this one probably is going to be the most contentious.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's a lot more of these that are workable that we rated low, and a lot more of these that we rated high that are not necessarily as that much better.
That's true.
I think the gap between these tiers is lower than it is for most other weapons we've done.
You know what you could do? You could look this up on Tiermaker and put it in our Discord. Make your own list and put it in our Discord.
Yeah.
Linked below.
Yeah, Mitchell made this tier maker, so you can go on to tier maker and find our list. There's not that many Necromunda lists.
Just literally look up Necromunda.
You'll find it.
There's like 6.
Make your own if you disagree with us and post it in our Discord, and we'll tell you if you're wrong.
Which you are.
It's just flipped. The Maul is the best weapon in the game. Fight me.
Yeah. Maul in S, everything else in F.
Maul tier. Hashtag Maul supremacy. But that's it from us this week. So that's it for our standard tier list. That doesn't mean that's the end of them because there are house weapons and tactics and other things.
There's a whole bunch of stuff to tier.
The Necromunda content train will keep on rolling.
And
Or
you
maybe
guys
it's a
seem to
land
like
train.
these, so.
But we're not only going to do tiers.
No.
I think we're going to take a little break from tier lists because we've been doing a bit of them. And there's plenty of else we've got to talk about. If you have your own tier list, please let us know below, or let us know in our Discord, which is linked down below, full of cool people. Come say hi to us. And we will see you next time.